North Korea, a country where internet doesn't exist, where every tourist is watched, and where time feels frozen in the Cold War. Yet every year, a small number of foreigners, maybe just a few thousand, step inside. But how? How does an ordinary traveler get permission to visit the most secretive nation on Earth? And did you know while most tourists must fly through Beijing, Russian travelers can now board a direct flight from Moscow to Pyongyang, or even take the world's longest train ride to North Korea? In this video, we'll uncover the exact step-by-step process of getting a North Korean tourist visa, the agencies you must use, the routes through Beijing and Russia, the costs, the rules, and the hidden details you won't hear anywhere else. North Korea is not like other countries. You can't just buy a ticket and land there. There's no e-visa, no embassy counter, no backpacker freedom. Instead, tourism here is tightly controlled by the state. Every single tourist must book an official tour with a licensed travel agency and must travel in a group with government-approved guides. Because North Korea wants to control what you see and what you don't. So let's start from the beginning. To get a visa, you first need to choose an authorized agency. Some of the most established are Koryo Tours, based in Beijing, is the oldest and most reputable, operating since 1993. Young Pioneer Tours is a budget-friendly travel company aimed at younger travelers. Korea Consult is a travel agency based in Europe, which works with Scandinavian and European clients. Without one of these agencies, you cannot go inside North Korea. They are the gatekeepers. For most foreigners, the road to Pyongyang begins in Beijing, China. Your agency will instruct you to fly into Beijing first. You won't get a visa stamp in your passport. Instead, you'll receive a paper tourist visa, a separate slip of paper with your details. This avoids trouble when traveling later to countries suspicious of DPRK stamps. From Beijing, you have two options. Fly to Pyongyang Sunan International Airport on Air Koryo, North Korea's airline, or Air China. Or take the Beijing Dandong Pyongyang train, a journey that lets you watch the landscape shift as you cross into another world. Some travelers describe that moment at the border. The Chinese train staff leave, and North Korean officers board. The atmosphere instantly changes, and phones go dark. It feels like stepping through a time machine. Now, let's talk about something most people don't know. Russians have special routes into North Korea. In 2025, direct flights resumed between Moscow and Pyongyang after 77 years. Operated by Nordwind Airlines, these flights cost around 45,000 rubles, almost $550 to $600. Imagine boarding in Moscow and 6 hours later, stepping off the plane in Pyongyang. The Moscow-Pyongyang rail link has also restarted. This is the world's longest passenger train journey, over 10,000 kilometers, crossing Siberia before entering North Korea. It takes days, but for adventurous Russians, it's a once-in-a-lifetime trip. From Vladivostok, Russians can cross overland at Kaesong to Tumangang. This route is often used for short tours to the Ryazan Special Economic Zone, close to the Russian border. Russian agencies like Vostok Intour arrange ski packages at Masikryong Ski Resort, city tours in Pyongyang, and even trips to the port city of Ryazan. In early 2024, a group of 97 Russians took a 4-day ski and sightseeing trip, the first foreign tourists allowed back since COVID. The price was around $750. And demand is growing. In just the first months of 2025, over 1,400 Russian tourists visited North Korea, far more than from any other country. Here's how the visa process works. You send your passport copy, personal details, and sometimes your job information to the agency. The agency submits this to the North Korean authorities. If approved, you receive a paper visa in Beijing, or via your Russian agency if traveling from Vladivostok or Moscow. Visa approval usually takes 2 to 4 weeks. For Russians, agencies recommend applying 45 days in advance. It is important to know that you never deal with a DPRK embassy yourself. The agency does everything. Who can and cannot visit North Korea? Most nationalities, including Europeans, Asians, Africans, Latin Americans, and Russians, are allowed. U.S. Citizens and South Koreans are currently banned. Journalists and professional photographers face heavy screening. The rules inside North Korea. Once you're in, the visa comes with invisible strings attached. You are always accompanied by 2 government guides. Wandering alone is forbidden. Photos are restricted, for example. You cannot cut off a statue of Kim Il-sung in your frame. The full body must be shown. Disrespect or political jokes can get you into serious trouble. Religious texts, political books, or even magazines with sensitive topics are banned. Tourists describe the experience as both fascinating and claustrophobic, like being in a movie set where you can't look behind the curtain. Costs of visiting North Korea. From Beijing, 4 to 5 day trips costs $1,000 to $1,500. 7 to 10 day tours cost $2,000 to $3,000. A journey from Russia to North Korea is bundled with various price packages. If you opt for a shorter tour, departing from Vladivostok and visiting Ryazan, you can expect to pay anywhere between $750 and $1,000, depending on the level of comfort and the activities included. Alternatively, complete Moscow to Pyongyang packages begin at approximately 150,000 rubles, ensuring a more comprehensive exploration of North Korea with organized itineraries. For those primarily looking to manage transport costs, round-trip flights from Moscow to Pyongyang are priced between $550 and $600. All packages include accommodation, meals, transport inside DPRK guides, and the visa. So, how do you get a North Korea tourist visa? If you're from other countries, you book through Beijing with agencies like Koryo Tours or Young Pioneer Tours. If you're Russian, you can now fly direct from Moscow, ride the world's longest train, or cross from Vladivostok. It's possible, but it's unlike any other trip on Earth. The real question is, would you go? Would you step into the world's most secretive country, knowing your every move is monitored? Or would you rather watch from afar, through stories like this one? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this rare deep dive into North Korean tourism, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your travel-obsessed friends.